So I pulled out my book and read my gene keys as I was inching forward every 4 to 5 minutes. And an event occurred where I found myself judging my neighbor in a nearby car. And I caught myself criticizing them, judging them, putting them in a label, in a box based off the music that they were listening to. And I went back to reading the gene keys and I had this subtle shift. And I heard a voice that actually outside of myself, and this has happened quite a few times in my life, this voice outside of me said, Lelañea, do not judge them. They are you. And I caught myself panning over and looking inside the car and spending time looking and observing these individuals. And I started thinking, man, I bet these are really nice people. They look really calm and beautiful. I bet I would really like hanging out with them. And within seconds, this shift that occurred became so palatable and so textured that it changed my perception of time and space. The trees, the leaves that were blowing in the trees around me started to slow down and move in a wave-like motion that would occur underwater. I started observing two young boys playing football, and I began to merge with them and actually start feeling their emotions. I was feeling the excitement of running in this open field and throwing this football back and forth with the sun shining and the wind blowing and the giggles and the play and the excitement. And I could feel every ounce of it. And it shot me back to this experience of when I was a child playing football. And as I observed these boys, I thought, this is incredible. How the hell am I feeling them? I'm feeling them, and time and space is shifting, and people's movements are shifting. And now light is pouring out of every individual. Now light is coming out of their eyes. And I'm seeing this light shift, and it's moving between trees, and it's moving between the grass, and it's moving from families, and it's moving back to me. And I recognize this as consciousness. And as this experience progresses, it enhances and it builds. And I began, for the first time in all of these experiences to happen, to actually start hearing information that was being provided to me. And I had an innate sense that if I repeat what I'm hearing, then there's a greater chance that I'll actually remember it when this experience is over. I recognized I was way deep in an incredible experience. And what I didn't realize until I came out of the experience is that I was sobbing from how much love and bliss I was feeling. I have never felt, I've done many psychedelics to experience God, source, universe, myself, and none of them have ever provided a feeling like this. This was coming from source. This is coming from inside. This can't be manipulated externally. And I'm sobbing and smiling from ear to ear. I'm sure I look like a lunatic. And people were passing by my car and I could feel them. I could hear their stories. I could feel their emotions. And as the information started pouring through me, I started hearing myself speak out loud. I was hearing a message that through emotions, we all can experience the individual avatars. Each one of us, we're all the same person. I am you, you are me. We decided when we incarnated to be different individuals, to have different experiences, so that these experiences are relayed back to source. And in the human experience, through empathy and through the connection of emotions, I can actually witness and experience your experience, the parts of it that really matter the most. And this is the information that we relay back to source. And in this shift of consciousness, I had a remembering. So I compare it to observing someone with amnesia or someone with Alzheimer's, and how they go into a space of forgetfulness where they don't even recognize family members. They feel like these family members are familiar. They see photos of them all over the wall, and you can start to convince them, yeah, this is your brother. This is your son. This is your partner. And they go, yeah, that makes sense. I do see photos of them everywhere. And they'll start to go along with it. But then there will be a moment where the amnesia of forgetfulness drops. And all of a sudden, it's a full bodied experience of, oh my God, I remember you are my son. You are my husband. And then they have a full bodied emotional remembering. And this is where I entered. I entered into a full bodied emotional remembering that I am source. And I was observing source, remembering that it was source. So not only am I sending information back to source, as we all are, but I actually remembered that I was source and who I was. And the tears flowed and the love poured out of me. And I continued to just feel the resonance of everyone and everything around me, watching this bead of silver energy moving between myself and everyone, and the illumination of all that around me. And as quickly as I said the last word of the last message that was given to me out loud, like a balloon, all of it started to deflate. And now all of a sudden, the trees started, the speed of the movement of the breeze and how they responded to the breeze started to pick up. The kids that were over to my right were now over to my left, who I had witnessed and was participating with them again. Now, all of a sudden, the ball that they threw moved much faster through space time, and their speed of movement rapidly picked up. And I could feel everything that I was seeing around me, the illumination started to become a little bit more dulled. But the love and the bliss was still in me, but I could still feel it starting to deflate. And I knew that I was coming out of the experience. And so these are my personal rememberings with unity consciousness. And what I recognize is that once was perceived metaphysical, spiritual, and even for some people who are not on this, that this doesn't resonate with, they may even perceive it as woo-woo. But what we're learning is that through our conscious evolution and our shifting, so is our perception of science, what we're able to perceive. And this science is backing up this information. And I am not the only person who's having these experiences, these visions. Other people also are having these rememberings, which are backing up the findings in quantum physics and backing up centuries old information coming from great sages and the great rishis. And we're in a great remembering. And through this process, I'm here to share my experiences. I do hope more are to come, but I am here to share these experiences and even the behaviors or the tactics or the third density human behaviors that I've started to adopt to help me remain in conjunction with my learnings, with these rememberings.